welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're gonna do books I forgot to review number 2. I have read quite a few books this year and a lot of my wrap-ups have been like 30 plus books. So because of that, I have had quite a few months where I've just forgotten to review a book or two. So these are 7 books I've just forgotten to review. So let's get started. The first book that I forgot to review was Tell Me How You Really Feel. This is a queer enemies to lovers story. This is about 2 girls, one of which is a cheerleader who, the first time she ever asked out a girl, it went terribly because that girl thought that it was a joke, and they kind of have had a problem with each other ever since. And after a mishap, they are forced to work on the second girl's class project for the year, and I ended up giving this work 4 stars. Both of the girls were had very unique POVs, and I love a good enemies to lovers story, but I love a forced to work together, and that's how they get over it story as well. And I originally was supposed to review this during the summerathon. Now, next book I forgot to review was The Only Girl in the World by Maud Julian. This is a nonfiction work talking about the author's life and her growing up in this very conservative and like she was sheltered from the world household by her father. And I read it during a Dewey's 24-hour readathon and then subsequently forgot to review it during the month. I ended up giving this one a 3 stars because, which is a weird thing to say because it's a memoir, and I ended up giving it a 3 stars because the pacing wasn't super enjoyable and neither was the writing style, but the story overall was very interesting to read about because it was this woman's life. So I feel weird giving it a 3. The next one that I forgot to review, I'm pretty sad when I realized that I had forgotten to review this, and that was There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. I had received an e-arc of this one through NetGalley and had rated this one 5 stars, so I was really disappointed that I had forgotten to wrap this one up. It was a fantasy world where there had been 7 prophets and they had prophesied the end of the world essentially, and it follows 5 characters who have very different, obviously, personalities and types, and we follow them as this prophecy might come to light. For this book, I remember really enjoying the magic system that had been interwoven in it and the cast of very diverse characters that we were following, as well as how unique each character had been, and how they each had their own struggles and wants and wishes and stuff, and that they were very, unique. And I am still highly anticipating the sequel, and I can't wait to pick it. The next book I forgot to review was Shadowfrost. This was another e-arc that I had gotten through NetGalley, and it has since obviously come out. This was a debut fantasy novel that involved elemental magic, and that was the thing I was excited to read about in this story, and that was the thing that I enjoyed the most in this story. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. It has a lot of standard basic fantasy tropes, and they're not really played differently, and they kind of follow same fantasy beats. The world building, in my opinion, was kind of very average. However, I really enjoyed the elemental magic in this story to the point where it was a high 3. The next book that I forgot to review was during October. Actually, I forgot a couple books in October because October was a really large reading month for me, and the first one was Peace, Blood, and Understanding by Molly Harper. This one is the 7th book in the Half Moon Hollow series, which is the 2nd series in the series of vampire books by Molly Harper that I have been really enjoying and craving this year. Overall, I gave this one a 3. This one was a lot shorter than all the other works in this specific series and in this world overall, and you could kind of feel it when you were reading the story. It felt kind of underdeveloped in times, and the romance, which is, this is a paranormal companion romance series, so it was going to take a part of it. It kind of felt underdeveloped in portions and rushed, and it made it kind of harder to root for. But overall, I did enjoy the investigative A plot of it, and the paranormal romance kind of was my B plot for this one. Overall, I did enjoy this one, and I do plan on continuing on in the series for however many books there are, and I gave this one a 3 star. Next book that I had forgotten to review in October was Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This is a survivalist horror that's kind of in a quarantined area. It kind of has like Lord of the Flies kind of vibes to it. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. Overall, I kind of enjoyed how it ended, but it was a definite choice, and I found it pretty creepy, but overall, I enjoyed the writing just okay. I'm excited to see where her writing goes, but I did give this one a 3-star. And the last thing that I forgot to review was the last book that I read last month, and that was Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna Maguire. This is a reread for me. I was reading this one with my partner for the first time. This is the first book in the Wayward Children series by Shauna Maguire. It is a portal fantasy series about children who go to their happy place where they're meant to be and come back, and those worlds are potentially never going to come back open again, or they might. And this one is kind of a foundational book in the series, and it kind of tells you about the worlds. This is a series of novellas, and I wanted to get my partner into them, and so we listened to the audiobook of this one because I felt like the book we were currently reading was taking forever to get through. So we ended up reading this one together. But how I forgot to review this one is I didn't put it in my spreadsheet until after I had made my wrap up, and therefore I forgot to review this one. It is still a 5-star read. I'm very glad that I introduced my partner to this world, and we've already started on the second one, so I'm excited to continue on reading those with him. Alright, so those are the 7 books I forgot to review. I wanted to do another one of these just to get all my books that I forgot to review done before the end of the year. I won't forget any more in the December wrap up, just so I have a clean slate for January. Have you read any of these books? Let me know what you thought about them in the comments down below. If you like what you saw here today, be sure to like and subscribe. I normally post videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.